Hi, my name is AK with the Popcorn Perspective. I'm joined with Jay discussing Fallout, the new Amazon Prime TV show. What did you think about it, Jay?
Damn, what a good show. So, first things first, was it worth the hype? Because there was a lot of hype once it came out. What do you think? Did it live up to the hype?
Oh, it definitely exceeded the hype. I think there needs to be more hype surrounding the show, personally.
Right, so I've never played Fallout, but I heard so much good about it from a lot of people on Twitter or X and other social
Yeah,
media. When I actually got down to watching it after you mentioned it, it's probably one of the best shows this year. Like, it is so
yeah.
good.
So I have a very brief, I guess, understanding of the game Fallout. I briefly played Fallout New Vegas, probably like the first hour of Fallout New Vegas, and I played half of Fallout 4. Unfortunately, I never beat either one of them, but I do have them downloaded on my Xbox. I am planning on revisiting them and beating them here soon. But um, so I know the themes of Fallout, but not the entire story, or like the entire story that Fallout has. So this show definitely rejuvenated my love, or like rejuvenated any interest I had in the franchise.
I think it rejuvenated for a lot of people because I think on Steam it's one of the most downloaded games at
Yeah,
the moment because of the TV show.
I think I saw
S-
that the player count went up on Fallout 76, which is like this is like the newest Fallout game, like a multiplayer game. But I saw like the player count went up almost 100%. So that's incredible. That's amazing for a 5-year-old multiplayer game getting that much audience just based on TV show.
I hope this leads to more adaptations done really well because games and companies will start seeing the benefit of it, right?
Well, I think the video game TV show adaptation, like the amount of good shows we've gotten, all that came. I want to say it started with Arcane. 3 years ago, Arcane. Then there was Cyberpunk, all on Netflix. Both the Cyberpunk TV show and the Arcane TV show was really well done, based on their lore that the game has. League of Legends and Cyberpunk 2077, or whatever that game's called. So I think I think at least that studios are finally realizing that video games has a lot more viewers than previously thought, and putting a lot of love and a lot of research into the game to develop a TV show or movie based on it. I feel like we're gonna get a lot more high quality projects here soon.
For sure. We've had a few good movies. The D&D movie I actually really liked. I thought that was really
I still need
fun.
to watch that.
Oh,
I want to
dude.
watch it. I do
Yeah.
need to watch that.
That was really fun. And then there was also Mario, which I actually really
Oh,
liked as
I forgot
well.
about that. That was
Yeah.
brilliant. That was really
Yeah.
good. That was cute. And then
And
Sonic, right?
Sonic. Right, yeah,
Yeah,
Sonic was so good.
Sonic was really
So
fun. I finally watched the
we
first movie a couple days ago.
ah, awesome, awesome.
Finally,
So
thoroughly enjoyed
we've
it. I was like, okay, I see I've been missing out on.
yeah, it was really fun. It was just a fun
It
movie.
was cute. It was very
Yeah.
cute. It was very easy to watch, and it's kind of like I want to watch the second one. Like it
Yeah.
was just such a good time. Yeah, but more
So
focus on
we've
this.
we've gotten some good adaptations, but this has probably been one of the best for me.
Agreed. Agreed. This is going to be a spoiler breakdown review, just our thoughts on the show. So if you have not seen the show, definitely view it. It is on Amazon Prime. It is what, 10 episodes long, or eight episodes long,
Eight.
right?
Eight,
Eight
right.
episodes long, roughly about an hour each episode. So it's
So
definitely a must watch.
let's do a quick non-spoiler review.
Okay.
What did you think? Like, definitely a theater popped,
Oh yeah,
stale, or home
this is
cooked?
100% a theater pop. Like if
Yeah.
they show all 8 episodes in the theaters, I'm going there right there. I'm going there right now. I'll rewatch the
Right.
show in theaters. Like it was that good.
Yeah.
The
Definitely.
cinematography, the acting, the dialogue, and the music, all brilliant.
So that's absolutely for me as well. It's definitely a theater pop. Definitely go watch it. And I had a little text to you earlier, but it doesn't seem like the Nolan brothers know how to miss. My
So
God.
I'm not sure if you know much about Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. If I'm not mistaken, those two are married couples, or they're close friends. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyways, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, they're the ones who co-produced and wrote the show. They also did Westworld, which was on HBO. Unfortunately, it was canceled. The first 2 seasons of Westworld, I think people hands down would say were some of the top quality TV shows ever. So the fact that they're still striking gold, yeah, you're right. The Nolans cannot mess up, and I want to see more what Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan can do, because those two together have done some of the best story driven TV shows I've seen in a while.
Yeah, so to give a slightly non spoiler summary of it, it's basically set in a dystopian future of a nuclear fallout. So a nuclear war happens, and it's basically the aftermath of that. There's a lot
Mhm.
of layers that are unpeeled throughout the entire series, which gives you more clarity on what happened to lead to that nuclear war.
Nuclear war.
And for
One thing I
anyone,
loved. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
no. I was gonna say one thing I loved about this era, or like this, the way the show was done. It integrates a lot of like things that's going on in modern politics, coinciding with things that happened like the Cold War era. So I do love the how realistic it is to today's society, but it still takes place in a alternate history of Earth. That I realized like you said, it may have taken place in 1970s. I'm not sure when the nukes first dropped, but I like just the way that the humanity still has evolved to the point that it is still kind of like today's society, the politics and the dialogue they have.
Yeah. So we have three main protagonists, and that's going to
Yes.
be Lucy, Maximus, and Cooper. And we follow these three as our player characters in a sense.
I think
And
Lucy is more like the player character because in the games, I know you haven't played any of the games, but the two games I briefly played, you do start off in the vault, and
yeah,
the game basically starts where something happens within the vault, and you try to figure out how you solve whatever mystery is going on in the vault, and you break out of the vault. So Lucy is kind of like the protagonist character. We're following her around as she meets all these NPCs, these non-playable characters. But Maximus and Cooper Howard, they both are integral characters to the plot, so they're also considered main characters. But I think Lucy is the audience-focused character. Like that's someone we're supposed
right.
to follow and sympathize with.
Yeah, and she really leads us and drives the narrative, and she's awesome. I
She's
love
so
the
funny.
person who plays it, and yeah, she's hilarious. So maybe we get more into spoilers at this point.
Yeah, before we do spoilers, let's just briefly see. I'm more or less curious on your intake. Who was your favorite character of the show?
So Dogmeat was my favorite character.
Dominic. Oh, he was the goodest boy.
No, so it has to be between Lucy and Cooper, but I'd probably be the ghoul, Cooper.
Cooper. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Cooper has a lot more. I had a lot more emotional connection with them, but Lucy, I enjoyed watching her learn and adapt to the world that she doesn't understand.
yeah,
Maximus, I feel like next season he's going to be a lot bigger of a player. I feel like right now he was more like a side main character. Like he was interesting, but there's a lot that they really haven't done with the character yet. But I don't want to go into spoilers just yet, so we can get into that
yeah,
after
for
this.
sure.
But this is the warning, last warning. Get out or stay in. But this is going to be spoilers from here on out.
Perfect. So let's start off with Lucy. Lucy is one of the dwellers of the vaults, Vault 33, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. So the Vault 33 is connected to two additional vaults, Vault
Vault
31
31 and
and Vault
32.
32. Uh, Initial reactions of the Vault life. What were your feelings with that?
Very, it just felt wrong. It was a
Did it?
very,
Okay.
it was a very, like, dystopian, happy society. Everyone seemed to just love being in that society, but it also felt a very, very closing, very, people seemed like they were drinking out of the Kool Aid. They're drinking the Kool Aid, and they just seemed all brainwashed. And I know people like always think about that society, the perfect society where everyone's getting along, everyone's happy, but then nobody has autonomy of their own ideas. Nobody can speak out against anything because everything has to be done as a group. And I feel like it definitely it started off. I love the way they started off because it built so well into what happens in the vault. All the
Hmm.
mystery, all the overlapping, all of the leaders. I think there's like three or four. That there's three main leaders after Lucy's dad leaves.
Hmm.
In the vault, and all three of them are just some of the most oddest people ever.
Right. So it was who is it? Betty, right? Is that's the one that
Betty,
was like the
she
most creepiest one?
is. Well, she's 131, and
Right.
that's something that's going to be coming up a lot in the season. It's anybody who was originally from Vault 31 is sketchy as hell.
Right. Yeah. They had that
And
saying, when things go hard, go 31 or
uh,
something like that.
yeah. When things go hard, vote 31. Whenever you vote a new leader, an
Yeah.
overseer, which is hilarious. And so the season starts off. Episode one starts off, and her dad, Lucy's dad, is the overseer. Hank McLean is the overseer. He's the leader of 33. So what
Super
happens?
charismatic, right? Like
Oh,
super
he's
charismatic.
great. I'd follow that guy to war. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
not after what we saw. But
Right.
so what happens at the beginning of the show? How does everything jump start? Like, how does the show jump start? Like, where?
Yeah. So, like any video game, we have something that happens that makes the protagonist need to go out of their comfort zone to do something.
Yes,
So yeah, we get Lee Maldaver. I think that's how they pronounced it. So
yeah.
she comes in acting like a Vault 32 resident, and then she captures her dad, killing a few people
Well,
in the cause.
yeah. Why did she? So what was going on during the over? Like while Moldaver was trying to kill all of 33, it was a
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, it was a wedding.
So it seems like the three vaults 31, 32, and 33, they have intermingled relations, but they don't really ever speak or communicate with each other until there's like a reason to do so. So they mentioned they trade resources with each other and they do marriage proposals so they can bring one person from a different unit to a different vault to get married. So his daughter Lucy is of age and she is requesting to be married to somebody from Vault 32, and that's basically what brings Lee Moldaver, who's already broken into Vault 32. She leads her men as a false pretense of marriage to kidnap Hank McLean,
Yeah.
and
So
that was a
once the
brutal opening.
it was awesome, right? Yeah. You're really supposed to sympathize and empathize with the residents of Vault 33. Like, they're the good guys. They're like just the good people who got such a
They're,
hard struck, right?
yeah, they're good, go lucky, happy people who are not skilled when they don't understand how the outside world is. They're very
Yeah.
closeted. They're very sheltered.
So yeah, we get Lucy to break away from Vault 33 because she wants to go save her dad. And in that, we get a few introductions to her brother, who is
Mhm.
Norm, and he seems like a very just stay the course, chill dude, doesn't bother with anything.
So it's
His
funny.
character obviously changes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. But I'm not sure you know how the video game works, but like there's like a skill tree where you can put like assets or like points into certain like attributes within your skill. So Lucy definitely has more of the adventure side. She's charismatic, she's smart, and she's intelligent. While Norm is very investigative. Like he doesn't trust a lot of people. He wants to know the secret. So he's very skeptical and he's very intelligent. So he's a very interesting character. And I want to see more of him. But Lucy now she breaks out of Vault 33 amongst the cries of her vault mates. They don't want her to leave. They think going out there is certain death. They don't believe there's a world out there. So seeing her venture into a nuclear apocalypse or like apocalyptic California was horrifying and scary.
Yeah, so she gets up top, and obviously she does not know what she's doing. And there are instances where everything is trying to threaten her, basically the people, the
Yeah.
climate, like everything. She's not used to it. Um, but she interacts with a she interacts with a scientist who is now going to be part of the main plot because he's apparently stolen something, and that is basically going to open up. We're told that it's going to open up the future, and you'll be able to control the future,
Yes.
and that's basically the
Uh,
MacGuffin of the show.
yeah,
That's what
because you
everyone is trying to go for.
Yeah, because you see Dr. Wilzig, and that's the doctor scientist that Jay's talking about, but you see him inject something in his head pretty early on in the show, but we really don't know what that is, and that kind of plays into who he is or what he's holding in his head. Like what kind of MacGuffin, I guess you should call it. What kind of MacGuffin is he holding? So, what did you think about the reveal of the MacGuffin of Cold Fusion?
Right. So that right at the end, we find out that it's cold fusion, which will give unlimited energy for whoever controls it. Um, I I think it's cool. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't think I don't know what it was going to be. Let's put it that way. They
Yeah,
shrouded enough secrecy and misdirects to keep you guessing on what it is. Um, it's going to be very interesting to see how the people who finally get it use it in season
Mhm.
2. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and how did he manage to gain the access of cold fusion? I know he works at that weird laboratory where they're doing studies on animals. They haven't really explained who they are, so I'm hoping they do more of a breakdown of that fraction in season two.
So
But
aren't they basically Vault-Tec? Because they're the people, remember, who got all of Moldaver's stuff from the beginning? It's in the past 200 years ago.
y- yeah, but something I know from the games from briefly playing Fallout 4 is even though they may once upon a time been a part of Vault Tech, things change. Now it's been 200 years since nuclear war and fractions break apart. So I'm not sure if he really is a Vault Tech employee. Is
Okay.
he one? Yeah. So I don't know his story, and that's something I'm really hoping they delve into in season two.
So he knew a lot about all the vaults. That's what
Yeah.
made me think that maybe he
Oh.
monitored them. But
Hmm. That could
yeah,
be, yeah, because yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah. Huh. I didn't think about that. Something to think about.
yeah. So,
And
anyways, while Lucy's on land, she interacts with Maximus, right? Do you want to
yes,
dive
yes.
deep a bit in Maximus?
Yeah, Maximus is a Brotherhood of Steel, I guess, recruit. He is somebody who is training within the Brotherhood of Steel, going through their schooling, going through the brainwashing regiment. It is basically a cult, a religious like organization that wants to bring in their own ideology into the land of the Fallout. And want to take control of the land of California, or I guess the whole United States. I'm not sure how further the nukes go, but it's a very cult like fraction, and he basically becomes a squire to what was the knight's name? Knight
Knight Titus.
Titus. Yes, Titus. And while working with Titus, he does realize that the Brotherhood of Steel is not the nicest of people. They're rude, they're hateful, they're spiteful, and they're
They're
very not as
human.
brave. Yeah, and they're not as
Yeah.
brave as he was told they were going to be. He was always he had this in his head that these guys are the
Greater
saviors
than
of
everything, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and they had these amazing power suits, which adds to their badassery. Like they look badass. They get these big suits, Iron Man style suits that
The
wreck
music
shit.
score.
Oh,
Oh, the
amazing.
music score was so good.
Oh yeah, with the power. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So basically, we show him get disenfranchised with the Brotherhood Seal, and he becomes an
Right.
unlikely ally to Lucy. Um, and they work together to transport the Doctor. At this point, it's just a head because they chop off the head of Doctor. He says, "Hey, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna die." So Lucy chops his head off, and he's like,
So
the key is in my head." And
so Maximus, very interesting character, right?
yeah,
You're not actually supposed to know if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
yeah,
You're not even supposed to know if you're supposed to like him or not, because I think they do a very good job portraying an internal conflict of himself.
mhm.
So I think that
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
because once Knight Titus dies by being a coward, he basically dies by being a coward. He
Yeah.
doesn't fight. He doesn't do anything but run away and get destroyed and killed. So basically, Maximus puts on his power armor and basically cosplays as Knight Titus. And I think there's a little bit in the middle of the season where he's getting the power to his head. He's liking the power. He's liking the respect his suit commands. So I definitely like the character. He's definitely somebody who is fighting internally if he wants to actually be a good guy or go back to the cult, the Brotherhood Steel, and deal with the consequences of killing the Knight Titus, the true Knight Titus.
Right.
So he's a very interesting character. He ends the show basically rejoining the Brotherhood of Steel, and they knight him. So he's now officially Knight Maximus.
Right.
But he now has control of the cold fusion at the end of the season.
So it's not
So
him;
now,
it's the
well, the
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
But he they've left him in a position of actual power. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does with it.
Does he use it for his own corrupt means and work with the Brotherhood of Steel's leader, who is up to nefarious? He's not a trustworthy guy. The cult
Yeah.
leader, the Brotherhood of Steel, he's sketchy, and it's will he work with the sketchy potential bad guy of season two, or is he going to break away and join Lucy and try saving humanity from within? So
Right.
he has a very interesting storyline that is going to progress in season two. But right now, he was more or less just somebody. I feel like he was more or less somebody to move the plot along with
Yeah.
the power suit. I think though the
Nice.
most interesting character I think we both agreed upon was the Ghoul. Why don't you
Yep.
explain his backstory and who the Ghoul really is?
So the show starts off with the ghoul. I mean, at
Yeah, it
that time, he's
does.
not the ghoul. He's just he's just Cooper Howard, and he has lived 200 years back. and basically he's with his kid and he's trying to protect his kid. And when the nukes hit is when we cut away from him, and then we meet him 200 years later, and he's basically the ghoul, this hard to kill, semi dead, semi not dead kind of living thing.
Where we show what becomes of ghouls throughout the show, they scatter them around. So ghouls are basically, from what I can tell, they are mutated humans, people who survived the nuclear explosion, but they've been mutated by radiation, and they need some kind of like chemical to stop their change. And if you don't get that chemical, or you don't use the medicine enough, you turn into a feral ghoul, which is basically like a zombie. So it's interesting how he is 200 years old, and I think they say he's the oldest living ghoul. So it's very interesting on why he's special. Why is he still like? Why is he the only one who's able to live 200 years? With all the other ghouls, I think they mentioned one of them who's like, I just turned like 23 years ago. Like I lasted 23 years. So these ghouls don't have that long of a lifespan, 20, 30, 40 years, and they end up ultimately turning to that feral ghoul. So he's a very interesting character. 200 years as the
Right.
ghoul.
And he has a reason, right?
Yeah.
His family's still out there effectively. And season two will probably push
Apparently,
forward,
yeah.
yeah, on where his
Well,
descendants or family or whatever
is
it
his
is.
family alive or is it only his wife? Because his wife, know through the flashbacks when we learn about Cooper Howard, the ghoul's backstory in his life. His wife was actually a pretty high member of Vault Tech.
Mhm. That was a
And
big reveal, yeah.
big reveal. We knew she worked for Vault Tech, and we knew she was
But she was
pro.
pushing those agendas, yeah.
Yeah, she was the one who dropped the nukes. She's the one who encouraged the dropping of the nukes. She said that's the only way like we can Vault-Tec, the corporation, can control the future is by dropping the nukes and putting our minions in these vaults for 200 years to come out and start humanity as we want it, not as the world wants it. So it's a very dark reveal, very scary reveal. But is his daughter alive? Because the nukes took place at a birthday party where the ghoul and his daughter were at.
Yeah. My guess
Is
is
his
we'll see
daughter alive?
more of it. We'll see more of what
Because I'm guessing
happens.
she's in a vault or overseeing as an overseer at some other vault, right? The mom, she has to, the wife.
Now the thing is, we don't know if they're actually alive or he's just saying my family as in my descendants. Like there's a little bit
Oh,
of
okay, I see what you were.
vagueness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it could actually be his actual wife and daughter. Maybe they've perfected the ghoul serum to make them live longer.
Or maybe they've been
Or
acquired in the quiet chambers, like we saw with
right, cryo
Buds
chambers.
Buds. um, One thing I loved about the Ghoul is so we show flashbacks to Cooper Howard as an actor, and he was kind of pissed off doing a director, doing a filming of a take, and they wanted him to kill. He was in a western as a cowboy, and they wanted him to kill his, I guess, the bad guy in the movie he was filming. And he's like, no, 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 I don't kill. Cooper Howard doesn't kill. Like that's like I don't want my image ruined by me killing somebody on screen. Remember, this is an old-fashioned sub futuristic society of Earth, so I guess his character, his mindset is, I don't want to be a villain. I want to be a good guy always. And now you see Mr. Ghoul. He has no cares on who he kills.
He has no morality, right?
No morality, no claws, no stances on death, and he don't care. I think he truly wants death. I do think he truly wants death. He longs for death.
Right. Yeah. Uh,
So he's a
it,
very sad character.
yeah. He's definitely one of our favorites.
Yeah.
I guess is there anything that you want to touch on with a ghoul?
No, I think we for the most part discussed like each character and who they are as a character. But
Right.
you want to get into? I know I briefly mentioned that big reveal about his wife and what Valtek was doing. But do you want to get into more details because Lucy, the main character, her brother Norm was investigating a lot of what's going on in the vaults. Do you want to break that down? What's going on in the vaults and what Valtek is all about?
Yeah. So we realized just the scale of Vault-Tec a little bit later and how powerful they actually are, and they are not only connected to the Ghoul or Cooper, they also have the McLean family with the Vault-Tec. And Lucy's brother, who's Norm, he investigates and figures out that Vault 31 is actually just a cryo chamber for his dad and any other Vault-Tec
Valtek employees.
employee to prolong their life and then come in and basically create pure humans in a sense
Hmm.
to continue a certain lineage.
And we show this doing a flashback scene of the ghoul, Cooper Howard, his wife. Barb has a coworker, Bud Askins, who's also a high end employee within Vaultec, and he basically started this project called Bud's Buds. Basically, I'm going to be controlling all of the humans that works with Vault, and we're going to be working together in the future to push our agenda, Vaultec's agenda. And he's like, this is something that I've created that is going to be a long, everlasting thing. Like you can't destroy Bud's Buds, and we showed that not only is her dad, Lucy's dad, Hank, a Baltic employee from the past who's been cryo chambered in and out throughout his life, but also Betty, who is now the new overseer of Vault 33 after her dad left, was also a Baltic employee who was also from Vault 31. So we show that there's multiple different Vault 31 people scattered around Vault 33. We also know Lucy's best friend, Harper. She's also a Vault 31, originally from Vault 31, so we can imply that she's also a Vault Tech employee. So I love how they scattered these people all around these vaults to continue their mission, their ultimate goal.
Right. And we still not sure on what happened in Vault 32. So Vault 32 wasn't actually taken by the Raiders.
Oh
It
yeah, they were
Yeah, they were killed.
destroyed.
They it seems like they even committed suicide finding
It
out
looked
what
like
happened.
Yeah, it looked like there was like an uprising that happened. That's what it
Right.
seemed like. Because they said don't trust leaders or don't trust the masters, and all
The
that.
management.
The
Yeah.
management, yeah, don't trust
Yeah.
management. Yes, yes. So
So
they
in season two,
found something
hopefully
out.
we'll see a little bit more what the 32 and 33 correlation is.
And it's kind of sad because Norm, the brother, Lucy's brother, he's basically stranded now on Vault 31. We see a little brain, Bud Askins, running around, which was hilarious. You see a little
Yeah.
brain creature running around, but he
He'll
basically
figure it
sealed,
out. He's smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
he sealed Vault 31 shut and locked it, and basically told Norm, it's either jump into a quiet chamber so you can wake up when everyone else wakes up, or you die here. And they kind of leave him at that. We really don't see much after that, so I definitely want to see how he escapes Vault 31 and if he's able to convince everyone on Vault 33 and 32 what happened.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Lucy finds out that her dad is the
Or
big
dad.
bad of this season. He's the
Oh yeah,
guy
that's
that,
another big twist. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's the guy who actually killed his mother, who had gone to the surface after finding out what was going on with Vault-Tec. And there was an entire community, a thriving city, that I guess was led by Moldaver. And
Moldaver and her mom. Yeah.
right, and
Looks
um,
like Hank dropped a nuke on that city
yep,
so he can destroy any hopes for I think it's called the California New Republic, the CRP, or something like that. CNR, yeah, CNR, whatever. But he drops a nuke on that city, which also is the city that Maximus lived in. So that's why Maximus is also an orphan, and part of Brotherhood of Steel is because Hank
yeah,
nuked the city. So there's been multiple nukes. A nuke that happened 200 years ago, and a nuke that might have happened about 50 years ago in that area. So Hank is a fucked up person.
he's a company man.
Yeah,
He'll
yeah.
hide behind the fact that, oh, the company wants it, so I'm just going to do that. It's
He'll
not me
kill his
doing it; it's the
own wife.
company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll kill his own wife, brainwash his kids, all for the sake of Thaltec.
Yep.
Which we also do show that Hank is also was also a secretary to the Cooper, his wife. So
Yeah.
that's how he's integrated with Cooper. But the show ends where with Hank grabbing one of the Brotherhood of Steel's power suits and making a run to somewhere that we don't know where. It kind of
Mhm.
ends with him running to a city. We don't know what city this is. Do you want to hear a little bit of spoilers? Something I read online what that city is reference point to?
Sure.
Apparently it is New Vegas, Las Vegas, which is takes place at the Fallout New Vegas games. The skyscraper, that city line. So apparently it's New Vegas. So something's
Nice.
going on in New Vegas that Hank runs to. And we now have Lucy and Cooper, the Ghoul, are teaming up together, and this is how the season ends. Teaming up together to go after Hank, and that's basically where we end the show.
Yeah. All in all, I
One,
think this is an awesome show. Yeah.
yeah, I think my favorite part of the show is the humor. It's some of the
Right.
most odd placement of humor, but it works so well because
Yeah. It's
most of the
such a
humor comes from
back
Lucy.
jackpot. Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
background is so dark and like it's just such a sad story in a sense, but the humor is just awesome.
like I think most of the humor comes from Lucy, and some of it comes also from Maximus because they're kind of like they're not used to the world. They've
Right.
been Maximus has been basically a cult within Brotherhood of Steel. He really hasn't ventured out to the real world. Lucy has been in a cult that evolved, and she hasn't ventured to the real world. So they're very innocent, and their interaction with people is hilarious. And her, what's that phrase that she uses all the time? Okie dokie.
Yeah, okie dokie.
She's just so go lucky. She's like, hey, whatever happens, I'll just go with the flow. And I'm just like, come on. But just seeing how she came from that very innocent, that okie dokie happy person to someone who's just darkened, someone who's
Yeah,
hates the. She said at one point, "I hate this. I hate the outside world." Like I feel so bad for that character. She went through so much in just 8 episodes.
yeah. So yeah, any criticisms of the show?
I think the only issue I have is something I mentioned earlier is Brotherhood of Steel. I feel like they needed them more time to shine. I still
Okay.
don't know really what their I guess what their point is. I know they're big. They have a big story arc in the games. Like I said, I haven't played the games. So I really don't know what the story is, but I'm very interested to see what exactly, oh, who exactly the Brotherhood still is, because we just know they're like a religious cult who abuses and it looks like they may kidnap orphans or something. I don't know how to get the orphans, whatever, how to get their recruits, but they just seem like a very cult-like, intense organization. I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
What about you? Any complaints?
Yeah.
Any issues?
So for me, it wasn't exactly the story or how it was done. I think for me, it was just the way it was released.
Yes.
So they, for anyone who's not aware, Amazon released all of them, all 8 episodes, and that is nice. But I just don't think this is a binge-worthy show. Not that it's not worthy. It's when you try and binge this, you will get fatigued because every episode is an hour plus long,
And it's
and
dark.
it's so much information that you're trying to go through. So that's my only
This,
thing.
yeah.
I think if
I,
they had more, maybe they released 2 episodes one week, the next episode two episodes. If they broke it up just a little bit, I think it would the hype would have been at a whole other level.
this show and Invincibles were both done by Amazon Prime, and I have two differing ideas of both shows. This show should have been a weekly release, while I think Invincible would work better as a binge, as an all release at once. Reason is I feel like this show, because of how long it is and how much questions and theory crafting you can do per episode, it may have expanded the talk of Fallout longer than a week. I think unfortunately, a lot of binge shows, Netflix, if you look at the history of Netflix shows, within a week or 2 weeks after the show is released, there's not much discourse about that show. It kind of dies
Right,
down and it's kind of gone. But with shows that are weekly releases, you can keep the intrigue up, the mystery, the discussion
right.
up. Invincible didn't have too much mystery behind it for the most part. It just has a lot of flowing storylines, a lot of characters, a big cast. So I think as a binge, you can remember different cast members a lot faster, a lot easier. Someone who appeared in episode one appears back in episode six, and you're like, wait, who's that guy again? But as a binge, it may flow better. While this show, I think, would work better as a weekly release schedule.
I agree. Yeah, it was just a lot. I tried
So
to finish it over the weekend, and I got
yeah,
fatigued.
I mean, not saying it's not a bad show. Like we said,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a
No,
good
it's
show, but
amazing.
it's just
Yeah.
so much going on at once. But I think that's for the most part that's all I have to say about the show. Do you have any last thoughts or last information? Any last thoughts you have for the show?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I'm a Yeah. I'm gonna just leave it off with one thing. I'm glad they brought in the '60s, the '50s and '60s era music because that's how it was in the games. In the game, there's a radio system that plays only those type of music, all about fallout, death, destruction, and love. It's very dark music, but it's hilarious. The song choices they have, they brought a lot of them back with the Fallout games. So I'm glad they did that. The music, the soundtrack, 10 out of 10 also.
Yeah, the music and sound is awesome. Okie dokie, dude. That's
Okie
all for
dokie.
me.
All right. You guys like, a comment, subscribe. If you had any questions, concerns, any theories on what's going to happen in season two, drop it down below. We'd love to read what you have to say.
All right. Peace.
Thanks.